Hello, welcome to Monday's edition of Richar Vaughan Live. Monday, the first Monday of the month of July. We're starting the second half of the month, the second semester. We have completed the first semester. We have completed the first quarter and the second quarter, or trimester. And now we're on the first working day of semester number 2. We're on the first working day of the second half of the year. In business, it's strange. In the business, we don't usually use the words trimester and semester. Those words are used more in the world of academia, in the academic world. The trimester system or a semester system or an annual system, full academic year. But in business, they say the first quarter, second quarter. And when we talk about a 6-month period, we say for the first 6 months or the first half year. The half-year results, or the first 6-month results, the half-year. Al ser adjetivo no tenía ese year. The half-year results. And so we're starting a new semester because I'm teaching, So we'll use the word semester. It's a month of July. It's a month that is a vacation month for some people. Although in Spain, where I live, most people take their holidays in August. Not in July. July is a period of time. It's a month of the year in the northern hemisphere where the kids are at home or in camps or traveling with their parents on vacation. But the kids don't have school. And that was the same in the U.S. When I was growing up. School got out. School ended towards the end of May. Towards the end of May. Hacia finales de mayo. Hacia finales de, towards, por cierto, toward puede ser con o sin ese, toward the end of May or towards the end of May. I use both. And so school, perhaps it's interesting because the word perhaps in Spanish, you can say quizás con ese or quizá sin ese. So you have of course it's a different meaning, it's a different word. But the same phenomenon of maybe adding the S, maybe not, exists in both languages on a certain important word. Toward the end of the month. Towards the end of May, school got out. And for 3 full months, we were free from school. Free. Yes, unless you had to do summer school. Some kids did what is called summer school because they were bad students. And so the parents made them take summer school to catch up. Summer was called. I didn't because I was either a very good student or an okay student. An okay student means passable, pasable. I got by. Most of the years in primary school, I was not the best student in the school. In secondary school, I had a couple of years in which I got very, very good grades. Usually the last year of junior high school when I was 15 and the last year of senior high school when I was 18. I got good grades. Very good. Almost straight A's. But summer school, I didn't take summer school until the university. During the summer, I took quite a few courses to catch up on credits. And the university system in the United States is based on basically 120 credits. In every subject, most subjects, not every subject, most subjects, a subject is una asignatura. Most subjects counted for 3 credits. So you needed to take 40 subjects over a period of 4 years. That meant 10 subjects per year, which meant 5 subjects per semester. Most universities in the U.S. are based on an academic semester system in which you start and you finish with final exams over a period of 4.5 months. That's a semester system. And 8 semesters times 5 subjects per semester gives you 40 subjects times 3 credits per subject gives you 120 credits and you pass. Now, people think only 5 subjects, that's easy. Because here in Spain, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. In secondary school, kids have 11 or 12 subjects. It's absolutely ridiculous. El que mucho abarca, poco aprieta. And it's true. I mean, I see kids here who are 17 years old, and I don't know. They have mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, art, Spanish language, English, French sometimes, 2 languages. And they have social whatever, and they have geography. It's just a madhouse. They have too many subjects. You don't need so many subjects. You need to focus on the humanities and math and science. Math and science and the humanities at that age. At the university stage, you can focus and concentrate. But in any case, I took summer school to catch up because when I came to Spain in 1972, in August 1972, I came to do an academic year. The first semester from September to December, and then the second semester from January 15th, basically, until the end of May. But I finished the first semester, but I didn't get back from a long trip to the Orient. I didn't get back until the end of January, so I missed registration for the second semester, so I skipped out. I skipped the second semester. I skipped. Omitir, saltar el segundo semestre. I skipped. S-K-I-P, to skip. To skip means saltar, omitiendo, saltando. You can skip. It's usually on purpose, not by accident. Usually it's on purpose. You skipped it. Voy a omitir el número 6 porque no me... It doesn't pertain to me. No me corresponde. So I'm going to skip from question number 5 to question number 7. I'm going to skip question number 6. And I skipped. I realized when I was in Israel, I was traveling for 6 weeks. I realized I was going to miss the registration for the La Matricula for the second semester. And so I just decided to skip the second semester. I got back to Madrid 15 days too late. And I decided to find a place to live and to spend the semester until June simply living in Madrid. And I found a place to live with a Chilean family in an area of Madrid called Barrio de la Estrella. And that Chilean family lived on a street called Calle de los Astros, típico, Barrio de las Estrellas. Okay. Number 13, I think, or number 11, I can't remember. And I lived in a house for 1 month only. For 1 month. I lived in that house for 1 month because they couldn't keep me for more than a month. They had a commitment to another guest 1 month later. And so I had to find a family after that month. But this Chilean family, which is the mother and 3 children, I lived there for 1 month. The mother was divorced. She was from Chile. Her husband, I never met her ex-husband, but he was Spanish. That's why they were living in Spain. He was Spanish, the divorced father. And it was 2 boys and a girl. The girl was the eldest, then the 2 boys. And I remember the youngest boy, Gonzalo, he was crazy about football, and he was always watching football. And I sat down one time and watched a game of Atletico Madrid, and I was watching, And I asked him a question. And apparently it was a question that took a long answer. He said, agárrate. Agárrate. Ahora te lo voy a explicar. Agárrate. And I didn't understand. I said, ¿estás hablando del futbolista Gárate? And he said, no, not Gárate. Because at that time, Gárate was one of the best football players in the Spanish league. And he was a member of the Atlético Madrid. The second son, the older boy, he was crazy about the classical guitar. He spent hours and hours playing the classical guitar. And I remember, he was very good, by the way, very, very good on the classical guitar. He was probably, I would say, 16 years old at that time. Good-looking boy. Fantastic on the classical guitar. And I remember, I played the classical guitar as well at that time, but he was better than me. And I remember the arguments he had with his mother, because he wanted to seriously study classical guitar in order to devote his life to classical guitar, to be a guitarist, to make a living. And the mother despaired. She said, Gonzalito. No, Gonzalo, no. Emilio. Said, Emilio, you'll never be able to make money as a classical guitarist. And he insisted that's the only thing he wanted to do. He didn't want to go to the university. He didn't even want to finish at that time it was before the preu. They had preu. That's what they had in order to go to the university, pre-universitario. Then after that, they had el BUP y el CO, and then el bachillerato de hoy en día. And he didn't want to do the preu. And his mother despaired. Ay, Emilio, with her Chilean accent. Very pretty, very attractive woman. And she said, you'll never. And she was right. He never became a classical guitarist. And he didn't go to the university either, I think. I lost touch with the family. And right now he lives in, I think in Gandia or in Cuyera, in one of the towns along the coast, one of the coastal communities south of Valencia, just south of the Albufera, south of Sueca. And there he has a clothing shop, and I think quite successful. He gets by quite well. And then the girl, the day I walked into that house to meet the mother and to meet the family, I got the impression that there was the mother and her two sons. For some reason, I misinterpreted the situation. I misunderstood, and I thought the girl was visiting. And I sat down in the living room, and the girl was sitting on the couch, and I was sitting in an armchair. And I remember looking at her, and she was the most beautiful thing. Wow, she is so pretty. She is so... And I asked her, what's your name? And she said, my name is Tati. Tati. And she said, well, my name is Carmen, but everybody calls me Tati. I said, oh, how old are you? 17. At that time, I was 21. 17, still very young. Sweet 17. In English, we say sweet 16. Sweet 16. Now you're 16, going on 17. And she was 17. I thought, what a beautiful girl. What a beautiful girl. Wow. And I asked, well, where do you live? I thought she was visiting. I said, where do you live? She said, I live here. I said, here? What, here in Madrid? And she said, no, here in this house. I said, oh, are you, but it's only two boys, no? She said, no, it's two boys and me. I'm the eldest. And so I realized that at least for 1 month, I was going to live under the roof of this girl. And she slept in the same bed with her mother. The mother and daughter slept in the same bed. And then the two boys shared a bedroom and slept on twin beds, and I had a bedroom for myself because I was the guest. I was the guest. And this money was necessary for them to get by. Because the mother, as far as I know, didn't work. She took care of the 3 children. I suppose the mother received alimony from her husband. Alimony is a word that means pensión alimenticia, between spouses who have divorced. Let's find out if there's another word for alimony. Because alimony is the money you pay if the judge tells you in a divorce court that you have to pay your ex. It's called alimony. Pensión alimenticia, pensión conyugal. All right. Manutención periódica. Okay. And so I suppose she received alimony. Alimony. Como suena con Y al final. No hay doble letra aquí. Alimony. Plus the 10,000 pesetas a month that I paid her. She charged me 10,000 pesetas a month. Only 10,000. How much is that in euros? 10,000 pesetas divided by 166. So I paid 60 euros a month. 60 euros a month for that room. It was a nice room, but there was only one bathroom in the house. It was, I think, trying to remember. Yes, there was only one bathroom in the house. And so it had to be shared by everybody. But I think I had priority at the time that I got up and left home. I'm trying to remember. But after that, I had to leave after 1 month, but I stayed in touch with Tati. She was a little bit too young. I was 21. She was 17. And I realized that she was a bit too young for me to get serious. And she was not the type of girl to have a frivolous relationship with. And so I didn't want to have simply a summer love or something. And so I just decided to wait. And then after that, the Chilean woman contacted another woman from Colombia, Olga, I remember her name, who lived nearby. She lived about 3 blocks away on Dr. Izquierdo Street. And so she arranged for me to have a room in a similar situation with Olga and her 3 sons. And so I moved to a Colombian family in March. In the month of February, I was with the Chilean family. In the month of March, April, May, and the first part of June, I lived with a Colombian family on Dr. Izquierdo Street. I think it was the 8th floor. And I remember the noise of the traffic. It was incredible. Because it was in the first section of Dr. Izquierdo, after Conde de Casal, and the cars were stopped always at the traffic light in Conde de Casal. And then they started, when the traffic light turned green, 20 cars started driving up Dr. Izquierdo in the direction of Plaza Roma. And about at the time my window on the 8th floor, the cars were probably in 2nd gear at the top of the revolutions per minute before changing to 3rd gear. Right there. That was my window. And so the traffic was very noisy. At that time, going back, this is in 1973. March, April, May, June of 1973. The mufflers on the cars were not as good as today. A muffler is the American word for silencer, silenciador. You know that cars have silencers. The exhaust system of a car consists of the exhaust manifold and the exhaust pipe. El colector de salida y el tubo de escape, colector de escape, que está en el motor, parte del bloque de motor, y el tubo de escape. Y en el tubo de escape hay un silenciador para atenuar to attenuate, to reduce the noise. And mufflers or silencers, I think the British say silencer. Let's see what they say. Muffler, silenciador de coches. Okay. And in English, let's see, silenciador, silencer for a gun. You put a silencer on a pistol, for example, if you want. But I think the British say silencer for muffler on the cars. And most people don't realize how important that item is on a car. Because if you remove the muffler, the car's extremely noisy. Have you ever heard, of course, many times you have heard motorcycles, very loud, extremely loud motorcycles going down a street. It's because the driver has taken off the silencer or the muffler. And when you take off the muffler or silencer, it provides more power because the silencer reduces the power of an engine a little bit. That's why, es por eso por lo que, that's why when you go to the car races, Formula One or any type of car races, the cars are extremely loud. It's because they don't have mufflers. Because mufflers, I repeat, reduce the power of the engine. So the car you're driving, if you're driving a car, or the motorcycle you're riding, probably is working at 95% power or 90% potential power because of the muffler or silencer. And back in 1973 in Spain, the cars had mufflers, but the quality or the size of the mufflers was not very good. And the cars made a lot more noise than today. Today, probably, if at that time the decibels were 100, today the decibels are at 80. And if cars were electric, the decibels would be at about 60. Only, I think only 20 decibel loss. Because most of the noise of a car on the street is its contact with the surface, with the street. The contact between the rubber of the tires and the asphalt of the streets. I think that makes maybe 60% of all of the noise a car makes is the four tires rolling and contacting the asphalt or the concrete. Usually asphalt of the streets. Practically all roads in Spain are made of asphalt. If you go to the U.S., you can still encounter highways made of concrete. Concrete is hormigón. But that stopped. In the 1960s, there was a transition from concrete to asphalt. Asphalt, which is a hydrocarbon. It's a petrochemical product, asphalt. It's made from oil. Proviene del petróleo, el asfalto. It comes from oil. And it wasn't really developed in a let's say a cost-effective way until the mid-60s. And then in the U.S., the construction companies or the public works companies began to transition from concrete to asphalt. But you still find concrete. Not too much anymore in the States. But it's interesting because concrete means about every tiers. There are blocks of concrete, and the blocks of concrete are connected by tar. Alquitrán duro, tar. And it as you're driving. But you don't find that in Spain. Because Spain skipped the phase of concrete. And they went from basically dirt roads to asphalt. And Spain now has a relatively good highway system. And a very good rail system.
Experiencia